And good evening, everybody. I'm Gavin Castor. My turn to host Beyond the Music. Thank you so much for listening in and joining us, at least for the first half of the show. We've got the presidential debates happening at 9 o'clock, but I can tell you this is a better place to be. My guest tonight from Bloomington, right, Indiana.
Actually from Salem, Indiana.
Salem, Indiana. Thank you for correcting me. Unholy UFO. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Doing great.
Great. Thanks so much for making the trip. How long of a trip is that?
It actually isn't that far physically. It's only like 30-plus miles.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes a while because of all the traffic down here.
Yeah. I got clients at work, people that I work with that come from the other side of the river.
Yeah, it takes us. Bloomington's probably twice as far from us, and it takes us the same amount of time to get there as it does to here.
Wow.
Yeah, me and Cam got in traffic the other Friday, and we ended up getting cropped out like 10 minutes before all the music ended.
Yeah.
So that was nice, wasting my last $5.
Wow.
But we did
Cropped Out Music Fest.
Cropped out earlier.
Yeah.
We saw some pretty cool bands there, and particular highlight was Insect Policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty sick. They've really come a long way.
That's awesome. And here you guys are, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's only taken
Making your way there.
Only taken us a year, actually. We've only been playing together. Well, a little bit less than that. I'd probably say like 9 months now.
Yeah, like as the unit you see us as right now.
Yeah. That's really fast. That's really fast, guys. 9 months. Usually it takes 5 years, to get really tight.
People to embryo out of the garage and then to walk.
We don't cut about.
Yeah, that's right. You want to play us a song first and let people know what you're about?
Yeah, we're going to play first a song off our next album called Victim Culture. This song is called Jar of Molars. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's been one lie that I've been living, asking for my sins to be forgiven. But I know that I won't change. I've come this far, and for now I accept it. Look at me, I'm flesh and blood. Frauds, go ahead and disconnect my spine. 'Cause I know you, and it's on your mind. Yes, it's true, my body's prison, dust and resin. I'm dying, but I'm not yet dead. Still got incisors in my head. My mother hid the rest in safekeeping. My mother hid my jar of molars. Go ahead and taunt me with mortality. I know about it all in the dentist chair. I know it's scary, but trust me when I say, ooh, been there before, it's not that bad, I promise you. .9 WCHQ Louisville, Unholy UFO,
live in the studio here. I like that, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I like the fact that it's raw and it's just right there in your face.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we don't hide. You know?
Where do you take your influence from?
Most of my influence as a songwriter and a guitar player comes from just the British invasion music scene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think a lot also comes from, like, the neo-psychedelia of the early 90s.
Yeah. One of my favorite eras, actually. You know, I always like the early 70s, you know, the guitar rock era. And then when the early 90s hit, man, that was it for me.
Speaking of which, Alice Cooper is going to be in Indianapolis here at the end of October.
Yeah.
Early 70s rock.
Yeah, that's right.
Great guitar rock.
He played the Yum Center here about 3 weeks ago. Louisville went wild.
I bet.
Yeah. I love that scene in I digress here. That's why we call it Beyond the Music. We go way beyond the music, you know. But
Yeah.
that scene in Dark Shadows, Johnny Depp. Oh, that Alice Cooper is one ugly woman.
I got to say, the wildest time I ever had, I was with my dad at a Motley Crue concert.
Cool.
I remember going, and I saw Alice Cooper in front of me. I didn't realize he was going to be there.
Yeah.
And just me flipping out, and then there's like this 12 to 15 foot tall giant
Oh,
that like
yeah.
just snatches people up. Like that's part of the
Oh, yeah.
the onstage stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when he started the theatrics back in the early 70s, he wanted the audience to have the reaction of, what was that? And he turned it into an art form, you know.
That was why Zappa signed him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So how'd you guys get together? Is that something?
You two know each other before. Well, before.
Yeah, I've known Cam for probably, about 8-9 years at this point.
Yeah.
So we were high school war buddies, and I kind of knew Bob in high school, but we weren't really doing anything.
Yeah,
Right.
which I can understand. I was listening to Elvis, and he was listening to way more better stuff than me.
Yeah.
What were you listening to in high school, Cameron?
A lot of punk.
A lot of punk.
A lot of punk.
A lot of punk.
That's where you got the drums from. That's where you got the good bass from,
Yeah.
or foundation.
Like
He gets that.
Screeching Weasel a lot. That's fine.
Screeching Weasels and Ramones and
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. That is Cameron Vanover on drums, and we've got Robbie Sherman on bass, and Robert Craven, two Roberts, or a Robert and a Robbie.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
people call us the Robbers.
The Robbers?
Yeah, instead of our proper name.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Robert Craven on lead guitar vocals. Now, Robert Craven, are you the chief songwriter, or is that something you share?
as far as lyrics, like I write all the lyrics
Mhm.
and most of the chord progressions, but we'll take in together and try to experiment where things go.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've had one song where we've all like wrote together over time, which was "Leaves Are Gone."
We also wrote together, what was it? That intro to Table of Gold.
Yeah, Table of Blow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. You also helped me redo Chelsea of Maidenhair
Yeah. Okay. Maybe
because
I did.
it was way too fast, and you're like, just slow it down, make it more of a romantic song.
Yeah.
Yeah, arpeggioed guitars. And
That's
stuff
why
like
they
that.
hire me. I'm an ideals man.
There you go.
Yeah, Robbie Sherman, romance novelist.
Thank you. Romancing the Sherman.
Yes. That's the Chelsea. God, I sound like an old man when I say that. The Chelsea tune you were playing. That was the one you were playing at Soundcheck, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Feel like playing that one?
Yep, sure.
Sure.
You guys
Cool.
cool with that?
Yeah.
All
We
right.
have Unholy UFO here on Beyond the Music, 100.9 WCHQ Louisville.
Chelsea of Maidenhair, swing hips and simple blue. I know you are sincere. Cannot communicate why you've been out so late. I told you I'm all ears. I hear your siren song. You listen to my blues. I look down at your eyes. You look down at my shoes. So innocent and free, I don't think I agree. Product of design. Chelsea of Maidenhair, swing hips and simple play. I know it is your time. Your time to clock out and retire to sheets so clean. Tomorrow is another day to blankly stare at the screen. So innocent and free, I don't think I agree. Product of design. Chelsea of Maidenhair, swing hips and simple play. I know you are sincere. Chelsea of Maidenhair, swing hips and simple play. I know it is your time. Chelsea of Maidenhair, swing hips and simple play. I know it is your time. Chelsea of Maidenhair, swing hips and simple play. I know it is your time. Chelsea of Maidenhair, swing hips and simple play. I know it is your time.
100.9 WCHQ Louisville. You're listening to Beyond the Music. I'm Gavin Castor. That's my guest, Unholy UFO, out of Salem, Indiana. I got it right that time.
Yeah, Salem, Indiana, birthplace of Abraham Lincoln's Secretary of State.
Yeah.
That's like our top fact.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We get beaten out by all the other neighboring counties. Like Mitchell has 3 astronauts, you know.
Oh, that's right. That's
and
right.
Seymour has John Mellencamp.
Yeah.
You know, we're like the little of the small towns.
Yeah.
I like to not think of us as Seymour, though,
Yeah.
on the whole.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, guys, you got a lot of shows coming up, actually. Let's see. Of course, you're here tonight. You got Couch Studios in Terre Haute, and then you're back here that's on the 14th of October. And then 27th, you're at Faulkner Gallery back here. That's cool. Have you played Faulkner before?
No.
You're going to love it.
Really?
Yeah. It's an amazing place. It's a big place. Killer sound system. So, yeah, it'll probably be the biggest stage that you've played so far.
Sweet.
So you're going to like it. I played there a few times, and it's one of the favorite places to play around here. It's a real sweet thing. So when you're not, we're going to go beyond the music here. When you're not playing and blowing people's minds, what do you guys do? You have day jobs or?
Well, me and Cameron like to wrestle.
I like pizza and fighting.
Yeah, we're all former pizza men.
Pizza men?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he used to be a pizza man twice.
I'm a retired pizza man.
Retired pizza
Yeah,
man.
we're full-time pizza men back here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Tired for the moment, anyways.
Yeah. So you guys, you're hoping to go, I'm sure, like most musicians, you're wanting to do this full-time and try to make a living at it?
Most I ever hope to do is make a living at it in this economy.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if you could make a living doing anything you want to do, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Then you shoot beyond that if that's your interest, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I know it's tough making a living.
Oh, yeah.
Making music, but it can be done. It's like with any occupation, though. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of drive, and you guys seem to have it.
I think drive is the most important part.
Yeah.
And I think a willingness to just keep going despite everything else is even more important than that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like a whirlwind when we're in the middle of doing all this, because like not only am I working with them, I'm working on 3 other records right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it just this whole thing's just been going by so fast. I can't
Yeah.
even keep track of it all. And,
Yeah.
Which, since I'm speaking about my records, I got a new record coming out on Saturday called White Boy Jazz 2.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a little EP,
Mhm.
and that'll be an instrumental EP.
Mhm.
And that's a sequel to a record I put out last year called White Boy Jazz, which was a experimental jazz record,
Mhm.
avant-garde jazz record. This one will have a little bit more full band material on it.
I'm
Cool.
playing a lot of horns.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
one more horn.
I meant to ask you that because I was looking at one of your press pics, and Robert Craven,
Yeah.
the guy he just said, yeah, he's holding a trumpet.
Yeah, my first encounter with an actual instrument was a trombone in middle school when I was getting ready to be tested. But they had me do a trumpet first. I couldn't get a noise out. Trombone. I was trombone player for maybe 5 years,
Right.
so I have a strong sense of like bass melodies and stuff, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And now that I was older, and I had come across somebody who lent me a trumpet, I listen to a lot of like jazz, and I'm still listening to a lot of jazz now to incorporate it in. But
Right.
I was able to finally get it worked in.
You're a great trumpet player. You really are. Yeah, I like having that.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, because trombone, you're down.
It's like the
And-
mid bass register.
Yeah, I was going to say in you're like the baritone register because
Tuba's below that, yeah.
tuba's below that, and 4-part. I used to study in high school 4-part orchestration. So you've got the two higher. You got the
Like brass
Like-
quartets.
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So the trombone, yeah, it's one step up from the tuba, right?
And not only is like Robbie doing his own stuff, I'm doing my own stuff too on the side. Like I was talking to you previously, I'm making a solo record later
right.
on, but that's more down the line.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to set up the small tape record label next year.
Oh, nice.
We're into the whole tape thing now. It's
Yeah.
going on in Bloomington. I went to Crop Fest this past weekend. Like it's blowing up there.
Yeah. Like mixtapes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've always recorded off tape originally. When I was younger, I recorded through tape recorders.
Oh yeah.
And then when I got into high school, I had the classic 4-track, that everyone talks about, the DP01 Tascam.
Yep. Yeah. I had the Yamaha version. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Similar.
My brother had it, and he bought it to record his band because that was the only sophisticated thing out there, 4-track, that anybody could afford. And,
Right.
and then I kind of permanently borrowed it.
Yeah. It's kind of sucks because the prices went down
Yeah.
to like 100 when I got it. And
Wow.
then like there's a craze back for it. So now it's like the same thing is now worth 300.
Right.
And it's like Tascam's digital 8-track that we have is like how much?
It was
100?
Like, yeah, it was like 100,
Wow.
120 when we bought it.
Yeah.
And we've been using that thing for probably a year.
2 years.
2 years, that long?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have every single show but 5 we've ever played. Like not just us playing our own music, but like going to blues shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, and that is history. And I'll tell you why, because I'm a bit, because you don't know where you're going to go.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Right.
You could be the next Ramones or the next Green Day, power trio out there.
God help us.
Yeah. And I'm a big Chicago fan, showing my age
Oh,
here.
cool.
And, those guys have been around for 50 years,
Wow.
since 1966.
Did you ever get to see Terry Kath play live?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Whoa.
I hate you so much.
3 times.
Wow.
And to hear you say Terry Kath, man,
yeah, he was a monster.
you just did it. Yeah, yeah.
He was a beautiful monster. He
Oh,
was.
my God,
Oh,
yes.
that's so good.
Yeah, he was the guy who Hendrix said was better than he himself.
Yeah, and that's why Chicago was opening for him for a couple of tours.
That's right. Yeah, they met at Whiskey A Go Go. I love you, Robbie. We are tight now, man.
I'm a hard person not to love.
Yeah, because when people ask who's your guitar hero, 'cause I play a lot of acoustic.
Yeah, yeah.
So acoustically, it's James Taylor, but electric. When I was 8 years old when Chicago Transit Authority album came out, and that was it for me. I heard all the Terry Kath licks, and that was basically a Terry Kath album with brass.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
he
he-
rips all over that record.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
he wrote Introduction. He, yeah, you listen to I'm a Man. You listen to every track
Yeah.
on there, and that guitar is up front, and the brass is up front. And
Yeah, they,
I meant to ask Robert, if you listen to a lot of Chicago because of the brass, because you're a horn player.
Not too much. Just recently, he's
Yeah.
introduced me into it. You know.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the first 11 albums, especially the first 7 albums, are the ones to listen to.
I really only like the first 3 records.
Yeah.
Like later on, it becomes a little too smooth FM
Yeah.
rock for me. But those first
Yeah.
3 records are really raw rock and roll. They're interesting rock and roll for the time, especially.
Avant-garde. Yeah, that's
Are you a Soft Machine fan at all?
no.
Well, they were a big like avant-garde jazz rock band
Right.
from around the same time, and
Yeah.
they got a couple of great records out.
It's
Great
kinda like,
records out.
It's kind of like Atomic Rooster, which was an early Keith Emerson.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know them.
Yeah, that was before he was with
Emerson,
King.
Lincoln.
Yeah,
Oh.
Emerson Lincoln Palmer, but he's also was
Yeah.
with King Crimson for a little while. A lot of people were in King Crimson, which even though people said Robert Fripp denies that he was the leader of the band, he was in every incarnation of it. But a lot of
yeah.
people, Tony Levin was in it a lot.
Which-
Bill Bruford was in it.
Before, also Greg Lake was in the original incarnation,
Yes.
and
Yes, he was.
I don't know if many people know this, but he signed a contract with them, with King Crimson, with Robert Fripp, and since everybody left after the first album, he had to go back through for free and re-record a whole new album with him.
Yeah.
So it was just free labor.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
That's what became In the Wake of Poseidon.
Yeah. Yeah. In the Wake of Poseidon. I like you guys, man.
Yeah, we know our records and stuff.
I think you're all right too. You're
Well,
not
thank
too
you.
old for us.
Most of my actual trumpet and jazz influence like that comes from like the 60s and 70s period, Miles Davis and Coltrane.
Oh, yeah.
I just
yeah.
wanted to say that ahead of time.
Yeah.
And he got me into On the Corner out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Robbie, this album is just trash. And then like the other day I was like, man, I just can't stop listening to it.
It's
Yeah.
an album that sounds like trash, and then you realize how beautifully that trash is put together. It's
Yeah.
a
yeah.
great record. Oh, I love On the Corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's probably the personification of Miles Davis, like blaxploitation jazz sound from that era.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people didn't understand. It's like you said, you have to be a musician to appreciate what he was doing.
Oh, what they were doing is just so far beyond it.
I think
Yeah.
I think it starts at In a Silent Way for people to be a musician to really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
even before that. I gotta say, actually, Miles in the Sky.
I think Miles in the Sky is a far more approachable record.
But to draw this right back, I wanted
Yeah.
to say that Cameron actually has a side project also that he does called the Scudmen. Is that right? Still gonna be the Scudmen?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
Scudman. Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
working on recording an album right now called Joni Hurts Chachi.
Joni Hurts Chachi.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he's got a great cover for it. I'm not going to spoil it,
That's awesome.
but it's awesome.
That's awesome. And that's Cameron back there on the drums, and we could only put a single mic on it, but you're welcome to scooch up if you want to talk into the mic too.
Alrighty.
But so every band that I've seen that we've had on here, all of the members are in 3 or 4 different projects because that's how you keep busy.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, if you want to make a living as a musician, you have to branch out. You can't be doing one thing anymore.
Yeah.
The days of the big record label guy that only does one thing and that's a big event, those are gone.
Yeah.
There's only a select group of people that are actually doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And a lot of their money is not being made through music. A lot of their money is being made by, like, working for fashion designers, wearing
Right.
dresses to
Film.
awards and things like that.
Yeah.
Film, book writing,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Film and book and commercial
or
syncs.
just insane tours. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta say, even though I really don't like her music, I think Taylor Swift's like tour revenue is just insane.
Yeah.
When I compare it to like the Rolling Stones,
Oh yeah.
because I think last year she made $250 million and donated all of it away,
Yeah.
which is just insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's revenues of states for the
It
whole
is.
year. You know.
Oh, it is. It is. It's unbelievable. But you got to respect her, though. You know, to give it all away like that.
I will say though, it's probably better for musicians to be independent of big companies like that because you just have so much more freedom. Look at Wilco; they're able to get #1 hit records,
Yeah.
have successful, profitable tours that sell out at every venue, and they're not big tabloid fodder. You know, they don't have
Right.
to worry about having their privacy, messed with or anything like that. So.
That's right. That's right. Fish is another classic
Yeah,
example.
Fish
I
is
mean,
a
the
great
guy.
example.
I mean, they have just they invented the subculture. You know, they sell millions of records. They sell out concert after concert, and they didn't have to advertise. It was just
Yeah.
word of mouth. Of course, they put out some incredible
Bob
music
Pollard
too.
really doesn't have to advertise anymore, does he?
Yeah. No. You know, God by Voices.
Got it, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
yeah.
That's where a lot of my influence comes from too.
Oh, cool, cool. In case you're just tuning in, you're listening to Beyond the Music here on 100.9 WCHQ Louisville. I'm Gavin Castor. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram, WCHQ FM. Threw the F in there early, didn't I? And my guest tonight is Unholy UFO from Salem, Indiana. So I wanted to ask you this. How's the music scene around Indiana? Because I know you're joining up with forces with a lot of different bands in some of these shows from around, like the Wax Astro, Alara Wave, and
Oh yeah. The Void gig.
Void Gig, yeah.
The Void. It's definitely not at all talked about down here. It's like this underground secret society. It feels like of people who organize these shows, but it's like
Oh, cool.
all the like local bands go through there, and that's like their testing. You know what I mean? That's their entry point.
Yeah.
We've played a lot at like the Players Pub, the Root Cellar. We've been on WHB a couple times. We've been there last July 6th.
Yeah.
So Bloomington's where it's at as far as being near us, what we play.
Yeah.
Because we went to Seymour one time, we found out.
Hey, that was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
awful. Our town isn't really much for a music scene. If you're not playing country or classic rock covers, then you're pretty much not making any bread that night.
But
Right.
but a particular style classic
Yeah,
rock, you know, not
particular.
British.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be toward
Southern
the
rock, a
Southern
lot of
rock,
stuff like
Or
that,
exactly.
AC/DC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is odd to me because they're not even from the same continent.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Scottish. Yeah.
Well, actually, they're Australian.
Australian.
Yeah, they're not. They're like on the other side
Oh, I
there.
thought they were Scottish. Shows you how much I know.
You
Senior
could probably
moment.
get away with Limelight, that Rush song. Like you
Yeah.
could probably get away with that, which I don't understand.
Or Tom Sawyer.
Yeah,
Or Tom Sawyer.
Everybody down there likes Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, everybody likes that
Canadian
song.
rock. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. But so Bloomington is like your nearby music, quote unquote,
Kinda,
mecca. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got a show up in Chicago this December 7th
Oh, great.
down at Sylvie's. It's maybe a quarter of a mile away from. I'm trying to think of what stadium is down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Wrigley Field.
Wrigley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's downtown.
Cubbies. Yeah.
Shows you how big of sports fans we are.
Yeah, yeah, we know rock and roll, not football and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know cheerleaders, but I don't know football.
Yeah. You know, it's you know the cheerleaders. That's all you need
Yeah,
to know.
that's all I need to know.
Yeah, I listen to. I watch an occasional game if I've got nothing else to do. But you know, I found that interesting when you brought that up that you're not into sports, you're into music. Because I come from a big family. I'm the youngest of 6, and we either went one of two ways. We either went into the arts or we went into sports.
Really,
Yeah.
that's intriguing.
And the ones who love the sports, you know, they appreciate the music.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
my middle brother was a huge Chicago fan. If he wasn't Chicago or, you know, a couple other, you know, Loggins and Messina or different ones, then you were nothing, you know. And I was the kid who brought home the Edgar Winter Group's very first album. They
Okay.
only come out at night, and I went out and got. He did like Yes, the first album, and I went out and got all the albums. I was into everything, prog rock, and
Yeah, yeah.
Which I like a lot of prog rock, but
Yeah.
for some reason, Yes doesn't mesh with me.
Bob loves Yes. Don't
Yeah,
let him
I
lie
know.
to you. He loves Yes.
I do love Peter Gabriel era Genesis, though.
yeah, oh, absolutely.
You know what he really
Of
loves?
course, Genesis, A Trick of the Tail, which I think was the first Phil Collins album.
I think
I
so.
think so, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah, is a beautiful album. In my book, I absolutely love it. It's based. The songs are based on fairy tales, and that's a great album.
I hear so much Phil Collins at night where I work.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hear so much Phil Collins.
Oh yeah. that will wear you out quickly.
It does. All the like horns and shouting.
I'm getting sad.
I
Yeah.
just think about him like strutting around.
Although his cover of Tomorrow Never Knows is insane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he's a humble guy too. You know,
I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think his music's necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hang
awful.
out with him, you know.
I did get to meet his drummer,
Really?
which was cool.
Was it
Really.
at that show they had here where they were playing all those Motown things? I
Yeah,
saw that. Yeah,
Chester Thompson.
Vic Wooten was here. And
Yes.
that was sick. Yeah,
and Steve Cropper, and that was an amazing moment. The next morning, they held a music panel, and they were all right there. And Shake Anderson and I are good buddies, and there was Vic Wooten, there was Steve Cropper, and Chester Thompson, and oh my goodness. And they went to introduce themselves. They're like, "Okay, guys, introduce yourself." And Steve Cropper's like, "Hi, I'm Steve Cropper. I play guitar." And like, really, you wrote Dock on the Bay. You wrote all these incredible tunes, you know, and
At least he's humble, you know.
yeah,
He
and
took
Chester
a-
Thompson was the same way. He said, you know, in the 70s, I was in a jazz rock band called Weather Report, and then in the 80s, I was in a rock band called Genesis
That's just as funny.
for about 10 years.
I got my photo with not Vic Wooten, but Steve Cropper. And
Yeah.
I wish I still had it. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah.
It was in a phone, and I think I lost the phone.
Yeah.
I've got to say, that'd be just as funny as hearing Jack Bruce being like, yeah, you know, I played with Tony Williams once. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a few Motown singles that never did anything.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of which, I told you it was John Paul Jones and who's the guitar player for
Jimmy Page.
Miles Davis?
John McLaughlin.
John McLaughlin.
John
Both
McLaughlin,
hung out in
yeah.
high school and had a band called the Herman Goins and the Monsters.
Yeah, and
Wow.
they played like nothing but R&B stuff.
Yeah, it had
Things
nothing
like
to do
that.
with anything they did the rest of their careers.
Isn't that something? You know, I digressed. We were talking about the recording on cassettes.
Yeah.
Of course, me being an early Chicago fan, you know, I respect the guys now, but in the 80s, they lost me with all the power ballad stuff. Well, they lost me when Terry Kath died. But there is a Terry Kath fan group on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah. And it was created by his daughter.
Wow.
And Michelle Kath Sinclair, and they have links on there to early shows like
Really?
in Chicago playing cover tunes from a
Wow.
nightclub, and it's an old scratchy cassette
Yeah.
sound, but you hear them.
That's
And they're
sick.
playing, you know, Tom Jones, and that's what they were. They were a cover band.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know who else you can find online like that? Tony Iommi has a bunch of early like live recordings with a band called Earth.
Yeah.
And like it's basically him doing all these bluesy Clapton style leads over like free jazz and other rock and roll type
Wow.
stuff. It's awesome. It's so awesome.
Wow.
Some of the songs are just unbearable to listen to, but others are pretty pristine and
Yeah.
high quality for what they are.
Yeah. I love the age we live in, man.
Oh, yeah.
Technology rocks. When I went on, I found, it was about 10 years ago, I had some surgery. I was down, laying in bed, recuperating from hip surgery, nothing to do, and then I found Wolfgang's Vault, and I found a archived Chicago
Oh, nice.
concert from 1974, and I found out that was my very first concert I went to, Louisville, Kentucky.
Wow.
Dang, man.
And it was played on the King Biscuit Flower Hour.
Wow.
And there it was.
That's
And I
insane.
was just freaking out, and I remembered every nuance about it. You know, Jimmy Pankow announcing Louisville's the last stop, but
Yeah.
you're certainly not the worst stop. You know, we're glad to be
Yeah.
here. We're going to play 2 sets tonight. You know, I remembered every nuance of that thing. I was 12 years old and just hung on to everything. And it was recorded right off the board, and the board was in stereo. So you had Pete Cetera in the right channel, you had Terry Catherine
Oh,
left
that sounds
channel,
beautiful.
and
Yeah.
it just, oh yeah, you gotta look it up on
That
Wolfgang's
Wolfgang's
Farts.
Vault is amazing. I've got
It really
a
is.
ton of Allman Brothers concerts off of there. And
Yes.
they're just gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful site.
Yeah, that's how we do our live recordings too. Though we try to plug in the board.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got like a lot of we've got like all our shows we've ever played, our own music,
that's really great.
and we've been like uploading them to like mixtapes and just trying to get people around
Yeah.
to listen to them.
That last mixtape we had sold out.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got a couple copies of this band called
Twin Peaks.
yeah, Twin
We
Peaks.
saw
Twin
Twin
Peaks.
Peaks
Chicago.
in Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were awesome, man. Yeah, they put on one of the best shows I ever saw.
Wow.
best show
Yeah.
I've probably best show I've seen this year. It's just tying with the show I saw in Bloomington. That there was a 50th anniversary show of Revolver.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah.
it was the most
wow.
crowded room I've been in. It's at the Players Pub. I've played there many times. I've
Right.
been there many times, but I've never been in such a crowded room that the line for beer like went down the street.
Yeah.
And like it was 2 blocks away. Like
wow.
for real.
Wow.
They just stopped taking like tickets at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just got done recording a whole day's worth of work
Yeah.
at the studio we're recording at up there.
yeah.
So when we came back, we're like, let's just check this out.
Yeah, it was a really magical little moment. Yeah, they went through a
Yes.
good majority of Revolver, and they did it excellently.
Even with sitars, it was all acoustic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really. That is awesome. Well, I know we've done a lot of talking here. You guys got another tune
Do
for
you,
us?
do you care if we play a couple in a row?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
I was thinking it's happening since we've been talking so much about jazz.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
kind of have like these little jazz rock numbers we like to play, you know?
Really cool. This is Unholy UFO here on Beyond the Music, 100.9 WCHQ.
1, 2, 3, 4. And that song's called It's Happening.
It's happening. Love it, man.
Yeah, we played in acoustic version actually in the Switch Yard up in Bloomington, and everyone loved it.
Yeah, everyone loved that song.
Wow. Yeah, I love how you trade back and forth. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's one
trade
thing
the
we're
leads.
trying to do in like this combo. Like sometimes you do slides. You have your slide on you?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Like he'll play. You don't care to demonstrate, do you?
If I can find it in here.
Yeah. Instead of slide guitar, we'll do
Yeah.
slide bass
Slide bass. That's awesome.
because we can get like all these upper registers. So like live, we'll just like floor everybody
Oh, yeah.
because it'll just be like sliding bass.
So, like, I can go off the fretboard like this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice when you have like a big amp and it just pushes out into the crowd. I have to
Right.
hit it hard though. I have to hit it really hard. It's not quite as resonant as it would be with a guitar, unfortunately.
Right.
Like, I usually end up making the nail go across the fretboard just so I can get the volume out.
Cool. That's awesome.
You cool for us to go to the second one?
Yeah. Go ahead and do the
Okay.
second one.
We've actually got this EP. It's going to be out after this record we get done. So we're already writing new stuff ahead of time because that's what you got to be as a musician.
That's right.
And this is an old song I have that was on a comp from here in Louisville. We actually featured on the Head Cleaners comp.
Oh, yeah.
That was they had a party last year at Modern Cult Records. So
Yeah.
we're on that. And this song's called Emily's Rosewater Painting.
Painting. Six strokes of genius, 10 hours of strenuous, meticulous brilliance. All I see are noteworthy, blank and transformed canvas. She's a tempting seamstress. Kaleidoscopes are coming in for cheaper days at college. Emily's rosewater paintings. Eight strokes a minute, a house full of paintings. You got no one. Kaleidoscopes are coming in, no more days at college.
.9 WCHQ Louisville, Unholy UFO, live in the studio. It's good stuff, man.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff.
We work hard every day. Every
It
day.
shows. Yeah, you're really tight. From what I can tell in the headphones. I don't mean that as an insult, but we got a drum kit in here, so it's getting the mix. I'm hearing the drums through the headphones as well, but It sounds good. I love your bass work too,
Thank
Robbie.
you.
Good stuff. It's not just, laying down a good bass line with the kick is good, but I like all the different directions you go with it.
Thank you. I got to fill up a lot of space in this band because
Yeah.
it's like I play about probably twice as much as him because he's focusing on vocals. So a lot of things he does are chordal things, which I'm not necessarily like trying to brag or anything, but he does kind of keep things a little simpler to emphasize dynamics.
Lays down
and things
the tempo and the rhythm.
I gotta think of him as like the Pete Townsend of this band. I'm the
John Entwistle.
yeah, John Entwistle.
Yeah.
I'm the sardonic, mean-spirited bass player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get near the grit,
I guess. I mean, those guys
Yeah.
are really great guys. We're nothing compared to them.
Oh, yeah. He was
Yeah.
amazing. John Entwistle and Chris Squire and Tony Levin. And
Boris the Spider is actually my favorite Who track. So
is it?
yeah, I'm a big John Entwistle fan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, somebody posted a video of him a few days ago on Facebook. It was just
Really?
unbelievable. Yeah,
I don't know
slap
how he
bass
does
and
all
everything.
this like stuff with his fingers.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's all so clean too. That's what kills me.
Yeah.
I don't know how Buddy Guy does all the stuff like he does. Like, you were showing me some video where Buddy Guy had, like, the back of his hands, and he's, like, doing all these, like, taps.
Oh
Yeah.
man, when I saw him in Madison. I saw him in Madison when I was 18, and
Yeah.
he played with a napkin. He played with a bottle. He played with a drumstick.
Wow.
He was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really blew my mind. I saw him and I saw B.B. King here in Louisville, so I was very
Wow.
thankful to see B.B. King before he died.
Wow. Yeah.
And B.B. King was a really beautiful show because he was a
Mm.
guy that really couldn't quite do what he could do before, but he
Right.
still loved being up there. They kept trying to get him off stage, and he was around for another half hour, 45 minutes talking
Wow.
to people. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he would not leave.
He loved what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, Les Paul was the same way. He was 86 when he died, and he played practically every night.
Yeah.
He'd sit down on the stool and had, of all things, the Les Paul studio special. They call it the log.
You
Yeah.
could go to New York and play with him for like a few bucks, like every night if you wanted to. He had
Yeah.
jam nights there every week, and you could go
Yeah.
up there and just spend a few bucks and sit in with him.
Yeah. Yeah. He was a phenomenal man.
I have a story from my friend Sam Bortka, who is a big session musician. He's played with a bunch of people. which
Played
I-
with the Beatles, Stevie Wonder.
I don't want to divulge too much of that because he probably doesn't want me throwing too many names around. But suffice to say, he's the real deal. And
Wow.
he went up there to jam with Les Paul one night, and they got up there, and everybody was picking real fast bop numbers because they wanted to impress Les Paul.
Right.
And he gets up there, he's like, "Can we do a ballad?" And Les Paul just looks so relieved, I guess, because he's
Yeah.
been having to deal with all these guitar players all night.
Oh, yeah. They wanted to shred with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, like, the longer I get into this and I go and see people play, the more I just don't want to be like that, Like,
Yeah.
I think subtlety is more important than anything.
Yeah.
Subtlety and dynamics.
It was Miles Davis that said that the notes that aren't played are the most important notes.
Indeed, they are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's heard more, And I agree. Just little subtle things. Of course, when you're recording, you need something droning in the background, to fill that space. And Robbie, you do a great job with the bass.
Thank you.
Especially the last one, because Robert, you had the rhythm going on the guitar, nice clean rhythm, and that tiny little dead space. Robbie, you were able to fill that in with I love the slide on the bass. That was really cool.
I'm glad you like that. I don't really consider myself an amazing bass player. To be honest, this bass kind of hurts my hands, so I don't really like playing bass. But somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
I guess, I'm the biggest guy in the band. I'm the only one going to be able to wield this monster all the time.
You got the biggest hands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what we were joking about before we came up here, we're going to play it behind our backs.
Behind our backs, yeah.
But I was said Robbie's going to, like, attach a bottle to a hat so he could do, like, a slide behind his head
Yeah.
and just see if people would, like, just have their minds blown.
Yeah. That would work.
I I play slide with a beer bottle live as a trick. Like I can play a guitar with it. I've never
Yeah.
tried it on the bass.
Yeah.
But I pull it off all right on the guitar.
Yeah.
I saw Dan again do that, and that's why I started doing that.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
He was so amazing at it.
So Robert, how I wanted to ask, because you know your brass instruments, I guess, were your first instrument, trombone and trumpet. When did you start playing guitar?
I'd say, actually, technically, I think my first encounters with guitar were like maybe a few months before I went and did the brass instruments, but I didn't really play it, you know?
Yeah.
But I'd say over the course between 7th and 8th grade when I like picked it up and actually had like a stable guitar around all the time.
Right.
But I was learning like all kinds of old music.
Mm-hmm.
Like since I was in band, I would learn like classical pieces
Right.
and
Yeah.
I, you know, like old folk tunes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I like got better and better at it, you know, it probably took me till I'd say about when we started playing blues nights in Bloomington to really get good at guitar. Because like I knew the basics, you know, enough to write songs, but then like he taught me how to play lead, you know,
Right.
way better. And so does Cameron. Cameron can outshred me, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, Cameron's a great guitar player.
Wow.
You wouldn't know it from looking at him, though.
By sitting in the drums.
I just started playing drums with these guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a friend of mine that was like that. He started playing guitar, and then he got involved in a 3-piece power trio, and they needed a drummer, so he became their drummer.
Yeah, yeah.
Got pretty good at it too.
Yeah, it took us a while to convince him, but he's an amazing drummer either way.
Yeah, you're good, Cam.
Oh, thanks.
Good, solid beat. Mick Fleetwood said the most important thing a drummer can do is lay down a steady beat. It does not have to have a lot of fill-ins, just that steady beat.
I mean, I feel like when we play together, there's always this like interlocking chemistry between us.
Yeah,
I feel very good about like our rhythms when I hear them back. Like they feel very natural.
yeah,
I always feel like the Velvet Underground, you know, because it's just enough, but it's like got enough presence. It's dark sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that.
Because like when we play stuff like Hunt for the Silver Bullet, that's like we play this instrumental all the time, but it just has this
Yeah.
dark sounding thing to it.
Yeah, that's off of Radical Jams for Vampire, the EP that
Yeah.
we cut before.
yeah. I failed to talk about that, and we got 8 minutes left. But you've got a Bandcamp site, Unholy UFO, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
We've got Bandcamp, SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, all the makings of a social media. you
Yeah.
know?
I think I think the best route from me would be go to unholyufo.bandcamp.com because it's got all your other links on the page there.
Yeah, it's got everything. I think our SoundCloud has everything, and including like the other social media things like Instagram.
Yeah,
I could be mistaken, but all the stuff you really need to know, you know,
yeah.
it's pretty amazing how far we've come in technology that you can get all that.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
But I feel a lot of people neglect doing that too, though.
Yeah, I hear so often people say, "Yeah, I got a Facebook music page, but I don't keep up with it." I'm like,
That's the point of it.
That's the point of it. Yeah, you have to keep it fresh and post something every at least.
Once a week, I think,
Once
is
a week.
ideal for
Yeah.
where we are at, you know.
Yeah,
I usually like to post for big events, like events I think are worthy of posting. Like I did a tribute to Lonnie Mack a little while ago. He
Oh,
passed
wow.
away. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I wrote a big article about that. I didn't even realize how big it was until Bob pointed it out to me.
Yeah, it was easily 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah. I also did like a little Star Trek tribute because it was 50th anniversary.
Right.
A couple weeks back, I think it was.
yeah. That's cool. So, Robbie and Cameron, do you have like separate band pages for your projects?
Yeah. I go under Robbie Sherman, and you can find all my stuff under Robbie Sherman. I'm on SoundCloud, Bandcamp. I'm on YouTube. I'm in the process of putting some new stuff up. So, but yeah, like I said, I've got White Boy Jazz 2 coming out on Saturday.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a lot of hard work, but
Yeah.
I also have an LP I'm planning on putting out in the middle of October, though I may put that out a little later. It's called Robbie Sherman Loves You, but not like that.
Yeah. That's good.
Always gets a laugh
It does. It
every
does.
single time.
That's how I know it's a good title.
So Cameron, do you have a Facebook page?
Yeah.
Just scoop on up to
Yeah.
the mic there.
The Scudman on Facebook and SoundCloud.
The Scudman,
Yeah.
Facebook, SoundCloud.
Yep.
Just like it sounds.
Yeah. Just like it sounds.
SCUDMEN,
MEN.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like a scud cloud that floats underneath other clouds, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we're that cloud that floats below the UFO, you know?
Yeah.
It all falls back
little
together.
boys.
The unholy UFO. Yeah. Cool.
Which we've actually got a couple live recordings with the Scudmen.
Oh,
We
yeah.
also
Yeah.
double as the Scudmen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like when I do Robbie Sherman gigs, it's usually these guys behind me.
Yeah.
And that Terre Haute show, that'll be an Unholy UFO featuring Robbie Sherman show, and I'll be premiering some songs from Robbie Sherman Loves You, but not like that.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, I'm planning on dressing up as my alter ego, Robbie Sherman, Master of Illusion.
Cool. And again, you are on Facebook page, and you have a Facebook page as well. And just like it sounds, Unholy UFO.
Keep it pretty updated.
Keep
for
it
the most part.
updated. Yeah. And I wanted to say, tell you guys in person, the video you made for your appearance for this show was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I shared it on the Crescent Hill Radio we have our own private page, that we
Oh, cool.
communicate through, and I've shared it on that page
Awesome.
too. And I said, these guys are really cool, And
Yeah, we appreciate you having us on here. It's really awesome.
yeah.
We're planning on eventually releasing the original full video of us at night.
Mm-hmm.
We went out to record some music out at night, like out in this field that we go to
that
on
is
occasion.
cool. Yeah.
It's near this lake. The only reason why we didn't use the audio for it is because there's just so many bugs buzzing around.
Right. Yeah.
So we have all of us, going around different angles and stuff like that, and walking through the forest.
Cool. Well, we got about 4 minutes left. You guys have a song to take us out with? It's about 4 minutes long or so. 3 minutes.
Well, we at least got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You want to do 2 2-minute songs?
Sure. What do you want to do?
I was wanting to finish off with Hair Down Joan,
Okay.
but She's a Boy could be between that.
Let's just get through Hair Down, Jones.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Okay.
Okay.
Please, for all the days you'll be old, try to be young today. You beautiful lady, don't let tradition hold you down. And you can still way across, and you can let your head down, Joan. One day when you wake up, let it be around you. I'll help you clean your room, and I'll go to let them know that you can still way across, and you can let your hair down, Joan. And one day when your hair turns to silver, let your memories never tarnish of when I made you my first. And we left your mother's house, that you can still way across, and you can let your hair down, Jones.
Hey folks, I'm Ed.
And I'm Tony.
And we're with Blacklisted Comedy. You can hear us right here on Crescent Hill Radio every Tuesday night in prime time at 8 o'clock.
On 100.9 FM WCHQ or online at